Ahoy! Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to another podcast. And I would like to also welcome here my today's guest, journalist and Czech of Vietnamese origin, Mr. Viet Tran. Hello, Viet.
Hello there.
When you read about the Vietnamese community in the Czech Republic in media, usually for the second or third generation, they are using the term banana children, which means that they are yellow on the outside but white on the inside. I'm not sure if it's super politically correct. I guess that it sounds weird not
I can
only.
handle that. I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
handle that.
you
Don't
are
worry
fine
about
with
that.
that. Okay, so, but I mean, I guess that the meaning behind this term is that the new Vietnamese generation is pretty much part of the Czech Republic. If we have now a listener from somewhere in Asia, let's say from Japan, and the person is considering moving to the Czech Republic, and maybe he is kind of hesitating because he's not so sure if the Czech society will be welcoming foreigners. What's your feeling? What is the life of Asian looking person in the Czech Republic?
Over the decades, it got much better, much better. Especially with the second generation of Vietnamese people who are like very active in business, and who are like, yeah, they are taking part in the Czech, let's say, environment and Czech society by a huge margin. I would say there are a lot of like Vietnamese spokesperson for Czech companies. I also made some text corrections for some Czech companies, which is kind of weird because, you know, you're Asian, you are correcting text for Czech people, and they're like, wow, okay, he knows better Czech than me. How is that possible? But you know, when you are born here, you just know things, you just learn them. The perception of, let's say, Asian people in the Czech Republic is pretty good, especially the Vietnamese community. I don't know about Chinese people. Maybe there are some political things going on in between them, so hard to say. But truth to be told, Czech people cannot actually recognize who is Chinese, who is Vietnamese, who is Japanese. So yeah, I wouldn't be too much worried about that, to be honest. So yeah, just come. I don't think Czech people are overall racist. I would say if there's some kind of racism, they would usually just say some inappropriate jokes, maybe. But it's not that hardcore. It's not like in the United States, like the relationship between white people and black people. So yeah, don't be too much worried about that.
So what do you believe that are current struggles for the second generation of Czech Vietnamese or of Asians living in the Czech Republic in general?
There are still, I guess, some stereotypes and superstitions about Vietnamese people around here, and maybe it's also the fault of the Vietnamese community because not everybody is like huge workaholic. I don't want to sound cocky, but some Vietnamese people are, let's say, as bad as Czech people. I mean, I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I mean it that way. That there are some groups that are dealing with drugs, that are dealing with some very shady business, which is like throwing very bad lights on the Vietnamese community overall. So there are still a lot of stereotypes and bad rumors about Vietnamese people still. I guess our generation of Vietnamese people are trying to somehow overthrow that kind of mentality. I guess we are pretty successful with that. Maybe it's just a matter of time that people get completely used to us. Yeah, that's probably the best way how to put it.
If now we have a listener, a tourist who would like to come to the Czech Republic and he is very well informed, he knows about the Vietnamese community there and he would like to see a bit of their life, where should he go?
He should probably go to Sapa Market. It's a big marketplace in the south of Prague, and there are a lot of Vietnamese vendors, a lot of Vietnamese establishments, as well as banks and other companies over there. Nowadays, actually, a lot of young Vietnamese, just like me, like we are the second generation of Vietnamese people who were born in the Czech Republic. We don't really maintain like the Vietnamese culture in ourselves that much. We are just like Czech people, I would say, even though we look obviously different. So yeah, but if you want to see the real Vietnamese community in the Czech Republic, go to Sapa and you will get a lot of things to see there.
When I
Yeah.
visited the place, I remember that it was cool that there was even a Vietnamese guy on a bike, and he was like riding around this complex and he was selling Vietnamese coffee. So maybe do you have some secret tip or some special kind of Vietnamese cuisine that you can taste only in this place in the Czech Republic?
You can actually try a lot of trends that are coming up from Vietnam, and they usually start in Sapa first, and then they expand to the rest of Prague. So in the past, it were like, I don't know what it's called in Vietnamese really, but something like bubble tea, a lot of milk, a lot of like jelly inside. From what I know, it started in Sapa first, and then it expanded outside of the market. So yeah, if you want something trendy, like something really Vietnamese, just go there.
My favorite Vietnamese food is bame baguette, which actually originates from the times when French came to the Vietnam, and there was a bit of mixture of those two cultures, and this is the nice result, I would say. Did something like that happen between Vietnamese cuisine and Czech cuisine?
Well, we do celebrate Christmas in that way that we are getting a lot of like Christmas sweets because our neighbors and people who know us don't really think we can bake, even though we definitely can. But yeah, we just pretend we cannot, so we get a lot of free sweets. Our Christmas table looks pretty much. We got a lot of bowl of pho, and next to that, a lot of schnitzels and a lot of like sweets. So yeah, that's probably one of those influences we got from the Czech culture and Czech environment inside our Vietnamese community. But yeah, to get a like really something new, some gastronomic item to kind of say it's something like banh mi, I don't think we get that one already. It will come eventually. I'm pretty sure of that.
Do you know if the Czech Vietnamese community is famous in Vietnam? Like, are in general people in Vietnam aware of Vietnamese community in the Czech Republic?
I would say definitely because there's also a channel on Vietnamese TV aimed for, let's say, expats, like Vietnamese people who are living outside of Vietnam. They have interviews or some special shows about Vietnamese people living in the Czech Republic as well. They're also aware of Vietnamese people who are living in Germany, for example. There's a huge Vietnamese community in Germany, I guess. So yeah, it's kind of weird because when you go to Poland or Slovakia or I don't know, Hungary, there are not a whole lot of Vietnamese people over there. So yeah, it's kind of like a special thing from the 80s. A lot of young Vietnamese people who lived in the Czech Republic and come back to Vietnam, they actually bring a lot of like businesses with them. Like for example, a lot of young Vietnamese people somehow got recipes for beer and started their beer business back in Hanoi or Saigon or something like that.
I guess that if there is an Asian person considering coming to the Czech Republic, it will be very easy for them because there are those Vietnamese markets where you can buy even like super exotic Asian fruits and vegetables that would be maybe hard to get in countries like Poland or the other ones. And I was thinking, what about the other parts that Asian person might be missing? And I have in mind in particular karaoke.
Vietnamese people do sing karaoke in the Czech Republic as well, but Czech people don't really like that. I mean, when you go to karaoke in Japan, you usually have karaoke in those enclosed rooms that are pretty much soundproof. Nobody actually gets annoyed by you. In the Czech Republic, it's not really the case, I would say. And Vietnamese people are loud; they're extremely loud when it comes to singing. So yeah, I do remember back in my hometown, there's a small restaurant. Sometimes they hold like some sort of event in there with karaoke, and a lot of people complained about them because they were so loud.
What do you consider like a biggest plus for living in the Czech Republic?
There's nothing going on in here, maybe. So yeah, there are no natural disasters or no typhoons, and I guess we are living pretty much in the middle of Europe as well. If you don't want to come here just to live for a couple of years or maybe just to study or just to travel, Czech Republic is great for that because Yeah, from the Czech Republic, you can actually get to other parts of Europe as well for a cheap price. If I compare that to my travel plans in Japan, for example, like for the same budget, you can travel the whole Europe as you travel the whole Japan. That's actually something that a lot of people come for, especially. And other things, yeah, I talk about disasters. There's really nothing going on here. The humidity is pretty much okay. The temperature is okay. There's no war going on here. So yeah, it's pretty calm parts of Europe. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about.
And what about some disadvantages?
For Asian people, it's somehow difficult to adapt to cuisine probably because Czech cuisine is incredibly heavy. There are a lot of fat, a lot of cream. Czech people usually eat a lot as well. So for let's say Asian people, it might be difficult to eat bread and butter and tons of ham like every morning because it's not something we are used to. There's also problem with the rice because for Czech people, rice is rice. There is no difference.
Do you believe that Asian people would appreciate the approach that we have for the tea culture in the Czech Republic?
I think the tea culture is much bigger than coffee culture in the Czech Republic, especially in the last couple of years. Whenever I go to some Asian events, there's always a stand with Asian tea.
When the person would be considering to moving anywhere in the Czech Republic, do you believe that Prague would be the best option, or are there big Vietnamese or Asian communities also in another cities?
There's definitely a big Vietnamese community in Brno and also like a western part of the Czech Republic around Cap. And yeah, try if you want to stay close to the biggest Vietnamese communities, go to these cities. But I found that Vietnamese people are pretty much everywhere, all over the Czech Republic. And I was born in a small city, like in South Moravia. So, and there is also a couple of Asian families or Vietnamese families as well, which is really nice, I think.
There are technically three parts of the Czech Republic, that Bohemia, Moravia, and small Silesia. And you know, there is a bit of a fighting between Bohemia and Moravia, those two biggest ones. So you moved from one to another. Can you maybe give a bit of your feelings or maybe a bit of your experience? Like, do you believe that Moravia is number one or Bohemia is number one?
It's true, there is some sort of rivalry between these two parts of the Czech Republic, but it's more like a stereotype, something like a living meme that we are fighting with Brno over superiority. Yeah, my feelings are pretty much those people are same all over the place. So yeah, maybe they're a bit different in Silesia part. So, but yeah.
Right.
But
Well,
I don't know a lot of people from there, so I don't want to budge them about.
yeah, that's a good strategy. I'm from Bohemia, you are from Moravia, so we are both quite okay. But the third ones from Silesia, they are probably
The first one
ones.
is always the weirdest one, right? So yeah, but yeah, I know some people from there. They're pretty fun. They are pretty normal. They might speak a bit different, but same goes for Moravian people as well. So yeah.
Well, I would say that there is probably like really one big difference between the people, and that is that those ones in Bohemia drink much more beer, and those in Moravia drink wine, right?
Oh yeah, I would probably say that's pretty based. Yeah, that's pretty based information. So yeah, because in the South Moravia there are a lot of like vineyards. So people are really into wine, especially during fall and during summer as well.
Which cities in Moravia would you recommend to a tourist for visiting?
Definitely come to my hometown. Come to Kroměříž. It's very hard to pronounce there, so good luck with googling that. But but it's a very lovely city. There are like big gardens over there that are part of UNESCO World Heritage Site. So yeah, come to Kroměříž. Maybe to Olomouc as well. It's also like very nice historical city. Yeah, also come to Brno. There's a big castle and church in the middle of city, so it's also very nice.
And maybe we can also recommend a special food coming from your area, and that's probably olomoucké tvarůžky. Is there anything else?
I don't even know if I would recommend someone almost get tvarushki because, especially for Asian people, they are not really into fermented dairy products. So yeah, it might be kind of hardcore for them to eat because it's really smelly. It's for some Czech people, it's even smelly for them.
You know, there are like few meals with rice in Czech cuisine. I mean, it's like a Czech version of risotto, and then there is like,
Yeah.
how could we say? Probably we can't. Španělský ptáček with
Oh
rice.
yeah.
Is any of those meals acceptable for Asian?
As for the rice, probably not. But if they overcome this form of rice dish, let's say, and just accept that rice is very different in Europe compared to Asian countries, I think it will be pretty acceptable. Because the risotto thing is not acceptable for Italian people, I have found. So yeah, it's more like a European problem. Yeah, other dishes are pretty okay, I think.
So what about smažák?
There were a lot of Asian people from Philippines and Indonesia and Korea that I know, and they really love smajak. Even though it's heavy, it's just it's easy to eat because it's cheesy, and you got fries with that.
And when it comes to sweets, which Czech one would you recommend to a visitor coming to Prague?
Probably větrník, which is like a very nice, let's say, cream in the middle of two waffles coated in some sugar stuff. So it really is heavy and sweet, but it's amazing for me. And maybe also špička, which is like a, I don't know how to describe that. I don't know. It looks like a mountain of poop, maybe. I don't know how to describe that. It sounds horrible, but it's really delicious. And in the middle, there's egg yolk liquor as well, which is very sweet and very creamy. And yeah, it's fantastic. And yeah, go into supermarkets or some sweet stores and look for a pile of poop and just get that, I guess.
What's your favorite Czech movie?
Czech movies I like are pretty grim. I don't know if I should recommend them because I really like Spalovač mrtvol.
Okay, yeah,
It's not a good movie to recommend if you want to come to the Czech Republic because you would think we are mentals, like from the calmer side of the Czech cinematography, probably Postřižiny. Yeah, it's pretty chill. There are a lot of people drinking beer in there, which is like essential attribute of the Czech people. So yeah, maybe that one.
Many Asian countries, I mean, especially Japan and South Korea, they are really into the gaming industry. And you are a journalist whose specialty is the gaming industry. So maybe can you give just a brief introduction to the Czech gaming life?
Well, even though the Czech Republic is rather small country, as we said, we have only like 10 million people over here, but somehow the Czech gaming industry is pretty prominent in the world. I would like to think so. Hard to say if it looks like that, like from the outside. But when we talk about AAA games, like the biggest ones, they are usually, let's say, focused on the realistic aspects of gameplay. For example, we got Kingdom Come, which is like a big role-playing game set in medieval era in the Bohemia part of the Czech Republic of nowadays. It got really big. A lot of people outside the Czech Republic really like that. Also, which is even more famous, I would say, is the Arma series, which is like heavily realistic military simulator. I would say simulator shooter, something in between. And also, I think a lot of people know also Beat Saber, which is like VR virtual reality game where you have two lightsabers and you are like cutting small blocks in the rhythm of music. It got so big actually Facebook bought the studio behind the game. So Czech gaming industry gotten really big over the past couple of years.
And there is also one Czech game which kind of has a Vietnamese aspect that's called
Viet Cong,
Viet Cong. Yeah. Do you know if any Vietnamese took part in the development of this Czech game?
Well, I don't really know the developers of the game personally. I know that in the game there is a Vietnamese in your squad of soldiers. He sometimes speaks Vietnamese, I think. So I guess in that part of video game developing, he was part of the development of definitely because well he dubbed one character in there, right? But if there are more Vietnamese people taking parts in the development, I'm not really sure. I would say probably not because I don't think they're really necessary. It's a fun game though. I even though my parents are from the northern part of Vietnam, and in the game you're playing for, let's say, American soldiers. Yeah, it's kind of like identity crisis when I play that because I'm shooting my own, let's say. But yeah, it was still fun, I guess. Yeah, I'm not taking that as something racist or something I would get offended from, but it's just video game, So yeah, that's how it went.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for coming to another podcast. And I wish you a nice day. And I also wish you that you will eat špička in a very
Oh, hell
soon
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me, and bye bye.
Dear listeners, thank you for listening and see you next time. Bye bye.